Yeah, he set his team that way. Yeah, he definitely set his team up to get those MVP votes. This time, he's actually going to work for them, apparently putting in a super strong game on Vlad last game tonight. Lucian, Syndra, so I guess they have heard about Dr. Eastwood. So, wonder if they've heard of LaCroix. I mean, that's definitely a target ban. Dr. Eastwood is a beast on that Syndra. We see him just going hard, picking up kill after kill, and I'd say it's worthy of a ban.
Yeah, absolutely. And, so he played a lot of Syndra earlier today, so I'm assuming they probably just took a quick look at Crow and Eastwood's match history, saw what champions they said to play in the past couple of games, toss ban that way.
They banned LaCroix's Olaf. He's definitely pretty strong on that champion, but he's also been trying to move away from it. He's trying to pick up new champions so that he isn't that one-trick pony and gets target banned like some other members of our community.
Hey, I play everyone everywhere.
I wasn't talking. Why the defensive, Sundown? I mean, come on now.
You know me. Always on the defensive. We see here Yasuo ban coming out as well from the blue team, just down to being the last ban. So we'll see what Gold Digger decides to pick up here. Wonder what it'll be. I have no idea. Let's view his profile real quick here. Most played games, Kale, Vi, and Kha'Zix. We look at his match history. His last game, he just played a Jungle Pantheon. So
which he looks like he's going to do again.
Yeah, Jungle Pantheon insta-locked right in here, and we'll look back over Dom Flamingo hovering the Soraka right now. His most played champions are Master Yi, Lee Sin, and Akali, but last game he went support, so we'll see what he breaks out.
Hovering this jungle Soraka right now. Soraka, with her current reworks, definitely in an odd spot. I mean, she can throw out a large amount of heals, and with that sort of ambulatory passive, she can get to a team fight late and still be relatively quick to get there.
Yeah, and it looks like they're probably going to be picking either a bottom pair or pick up a jungler here. Risque played in the AD carry last game. It looks like it's going to be a Caitlyn Soraka, so a lot of sustain, decent amount of range, solid amount of poke. And it looks like they're going to match right away with their own bot lane. Corki Thresh being locked in almost instantly, less than 5 seconds going on for this pick. So lane we saw a lot at Worlds. That what people said was kind of an average lane. But there's a ton of damage, ton of burst potential coming out from the Death Sentence Flays into the Phosphorus Bombs with the Gatling gun. And then being able to follow up with the Valkyrie and some missile barrages. Like Corki's true damage on top of it and getting the sword pen, like it's really difficult to deal with them. That being said, Caitlyn Soraka are not exactly fun to lane against either. Tons of range on the Caitlyn. She's able to punish you, pelt over peacemakers, and her little cupcakes to keep herself safe, and Soraka providing tons of silences and snares as well.
However, Master Yi being locked in, probably going to go for that teleport smite. It's something that a lot of Master Yis do. Not really sure why. I mean, yeah, they can get to a fight. And this isn't Delta Echo. Which teams are playing right now, Sundown?
These two teams are... Let me locate them real quick. It is Echo B, and oh, yeah, it is Delta Echo. It's Delta B and Echo B. How about that?
Wait.
Delta B and Echo B.
So
First game we casted was Echo A and Delta
A. Alright, so blue team's Delta, red team's Echo again?
Blue team is Delta and red team is Echo.
Well, that's weird.
That's just awfully convenient.
That's extremely convenient. Crow, probably just sort of trolling right now, hovering that top lane brand. Dr. Eastwood, however, the Syndra being banned, gonna go with that Zed. Zed's actually a really big fallback champion for a lot of the mid laners that we usually showcase. Eastwood being one, Nom Rice being another one. Crow going that top lane Fiddlesticks.
I
After
love it.
after
He can't
hovering
be
the
gank. He can't
Darius,
gank you. He can't gank you.
and Crow actually just messaged me, and he said Crow is playing the Crow. Um, it's going to be interesting to see who Purple Team picks into that. I really wouldn't know how to even go about that lane.
Basically, the idea against playing Fiddle is you need some kind of CC to match him. He has two really strong CC abilities, and then he has a channel. So you need something that cancels channel. A top lane Caston would be really good here because then you can also spec heavy towards armor, and you have that cancel channel. I don't like the Nasus pick if that looks like what he's going to go, because he has to stand there if he wants to do damage, and Fiddle's just going to be able to drain right through it.
However, there will come a point where the siphoning strike is just going to be too much to deal with. Even with a Fiddle Drain, I mean, he can half chunk towers, and those actually have armor built into them, whereas Fiddlesticks doesn't really build much armor outside of, say, a Zonia's. So definitely going to be interesting to see when that point comes, if it comes at all even. I mean, Crow's going to know this matchup, I would assume, fairly okay, and he's going to play it to his advantage and try and starve Nasus of those stacks.
Right, one thing he's also going to be able to do is anytime Nasus walks up for a big stack on a cannon creep, he's just going to be able to fear him back off and away and start the drain, and then Nasus has to choose whether or not he wants to suck up the damage and go up to eat the CS, or take, or basically just be denied the 60 gold from these siege minions. Another really important thing is if Fiddlesticks goes for those distortion boots and then it gets teleport and then takes the max CDR on the Summoner spell, he's just going to be able to really put so much pressure around the map, ganking around basically anywhere he wants with teleport on a short cooldown. We'll see what he decides to go to with his runes and masteries.
Definitely going to be fun to see those 4 to 5 man ganks coming in between the Fiddle teleport, the Pantheon man drop, and just Zed being a fairly mobile champion in and of himself. With just lots of range on the purple team with not that much short of straight up engage, it's going to be interesting to see how the poke comp comes out, because Xerath and Caitlyn want to sit in the back, throw out spells and auto attacks, and just sort of hang out and take towers, whereas the Yi, the Nasus, and the Soraka all want to be involved in a team fight, and that's where blue team's definitely going to manage. I mean, like I said, Mandrop, Crowstorm, Zed, Corki with his Phosphorus Bomb missiles, the box.
A whole lot of AoE. I mean, these two teams, yes, they're a little bit unconventional, but the team fights coming out are just going to be absolutely chaotic. I mean, Master Yi coming in with his Alpha Strike, Soraka throwing down the Star Call on top of her new silencing field that also has the root on top of it. Xerath throwing down every single one of his cooldowns. I mean, there's just going to be so many spells, not to mention the big dog running around. On top of that, you go back over onto the blue team. Yes, the Mandrop coming out from the Grand Skyfall. Yes, the Crowstorm. Yes, the Deathmark, the box. And on top of that, Corki just puts down a ton of AoE damage in the form of his Phosphorus Bombs and the Missile Barrage. So I really think it's going to come down to which team is going to be able to really tank out these engages. And it's really, again, I see the top lane being the tilting point. If Crow's able to kind of get an advantage and get that fiddle going and get ganks around the map, put pressure on middle with his ultimate, and really keep the Nasus from stacking up, I think he'll be able to put him on tilt, and then the rest of the team won't have a whole lot of follow-up. That being said, double TP coming out from the purple team, they're going to be able to respond to whatever they want, and worst case scenario, they can just go 1-3-1 with the Xerath, Soraka, and Caitlyn sitting in the middle lane, and just put Yi and Nasus on either side of the map and pressure those sidelines.
Heading down into the last couple seconds of our spectator delay, we will see the champion skins, who wins that war, and then we'll get into the game and see what this level 1 is going to end up looking like.
Yeah, and I'll be really excited to see the skin war. And it also looks like Ghost of Aurelia decided to post an application on vVv's website.
Good for Shy Slushy, as he is commonly called these days.
Ghost really was such a better name. And the spectator delay is up. We'll get into the loading screen and see who won the skin war. Well, Pantheon not having a skin, I think almost guarantees it to go down to purple. That being said, Dragonwing Corpy, Championships, Thresh, and Shockblade Zed are all pretty badass skin. Not a huge fan of Bandito Fiddle. He has so many better skins.
And then Scorchard's there, definitely his best one. Dryad Soraka, probably one of the better ones. Officer Caitlyn, definitely one of my go-tos. Chosen Master Yi, not really my favorite. I'm more of a headhunter. Dread Knight
lightsaber, so good.
Dread Knight Nasus was my go-to before Infernal Nasus became a thing. Just moving everyone to their correct positions.
And you see right away a little bit of BM in chat because Pantheon didn't have a skin.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Nice Piltover Peacemaker landing, taking a bit of health away from Zed.
It's an interesting start here from the Thresh with the Ancient Coin, Pink Ward, and just a health potion. And Caitlyn hitting the Piltover Peacemaker and him walking on that knows it's going to be a Pink Ward over on the map somewhere.
Definitely going to be a bit less lane sustain coming out for the Thresh himself. Deciding to go coin for that sustain there, but sacrificing the health potion for the Pink Ward. Just a couple more seconds. A surprisingly boring level 1. I was expecting a bit more.
Yep, no wards really going down. You see the Pink Ward finally being thrown in his own try, so that'll be defensive. They'll know that's thrown down somewhere by recognizing Thresh doesn't have it in lane. Yi, of course, getting rid of that buff really quickly. Pantheon on the other side, a little bit slower with only the Fiddle leashing for him.
Also a bit odd to see Pantheon starting on the top side of the map. I can understand Pantheon using a bit more mana than, say, Yi in the jungle, but it's just fairly common practice to start on the side of your boss side. Hook lands, Phosphorus Bomb lands also.
Yeah, level 2 gang top incoming. Here comes Pantheon.
And now that's just next level cheese between the Fiddlesticks and the Pantheon. Ghost coming out of King Crypt, Drain coming down, Spear, Stun. The Ghost already being popped. However, Fiddlesticks being also level 1, not having any sort of CC. It looks like Nasus is just going to walk away from that.
That huge misplay right there. Deciding to use his Drain before the Pantheon stun had come out. He lost all his damage. Yes, they got.
Another hook lands onto Soraka.
Yes, they got the Ghost of the Nasus, but if he just held the Drain and put it on him consistently, it would have been a free kill. And you see right away, auto attack coming out, and he's going to eat a little bit of minion aggro, but he gets the Drain, and that's the early damage off the Fiddle.
That being said, there was a bit of an odd play from Master Yi. He teleported to the tier 1 tower to run to his red buff faster. However, he found Pantheon there. Eastwood throwing down lots of damage, Ignite coming down. Gonna auto attack one more time for the first blood and then flashes away. Master Yi can't really do anything about his red buff now without the mid laner for that extra support. And with Nasus also being super low, this is going to be interesting. However, Yi hit level 3. No red buffs on either side. Nasus coming down. Hook misses. Pantheon just throwing down tons of damage. Seawide eating another Piltover Peacemaker. This is
And
the
with the
sustain.
sustain of Soraka, the turret damage does not matter at all. And Pantheon, even though he's giving up a level, just because of the passive block and being able to block the auto attacks coming out from Yi, he's going to lose this red buff. And honestly, only having 9 CS and being able to go back into matches is really, really going to hurt him. He's going to have absolutely no gank pressure early without that red buff.
Not only that, it's a super delayed 3 buff, which, I mean, Yi really needs to get that experience. He really needs to get that level so he can get those items. The Crow eating a ton of minion damage for that drain. Coming out just about even there.
Yeah, he needs to be very careful about when he's draining and when he decides to auto attack and then go to drain. He can't aggro minions and then drain and expect to out-trade the Nasus.
Dr. Eastwood sitting 2 levels ahead of this Xerath now. He's going to hit 6 way before. Pink Ward finally being found by this Soraka. Going to try and clear it out. It's going to get it, and Thresh just going to leave the red ward there. More minion aggro coming down onto the Crow. Having teleport costs him a kill there, but it's going to give him the map pressure. And again, Piltover Peacemakers to the face of Seawide. The flash Crow drain, giving Crow another kill. Piltover Peacemaker picking up the kill for C-Wide, or on C-Wide. Really unfortunate there. It was a nice spell combo from Soraka Caitlyn.
Pantheon walks on a ward bot. Spotted out right away. Decides to throw a ward down. Actually, just right as it expired. So really unfortunate for him. So he spotted out. So everyone else knows they're safe.
Eastwood hitting 6, decides to hit the go button. Goes in, lands 2 shurikens, and it's still enough for the Xerath pop. This is going to really set Xerath behind.
And at this point, too, he's up 30 CS as well. So effectively, he's up about 4 kills worth of gold. And I mean, he's doubled his gold effectively at this point. And he just went back with 1,000. He's going to pick up that Vision Ward and a Vampiric Scepter. So he's going to be able to stay in lane now and just farm that out. And Dr. Eastwood, once he gets fed, there's no stopping him. He will just continue to punish his lane opponent and try and roam as much as possible.
Crow thinking he can tank all of this. He's using fear tactics right now. I mean, the Wither coming out so the Crow just eats so much minion farm, but Nasus ran away. He probably could have tried to finish something there.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, Nasus is thinking that minions do less damage than they do. Like, he could have just killed him right there.
However, he ghosts away.
No problem, yep.
Crow knows this. Crow throws out the ultimate, but not enough. Pantheon coming in, throwing down the stun. However, I don't know what he stunned.
Is Smite available for either of them? No.
No, but the Q picks it up. Eastwood.
Good flash coming out from Gold Digger. They're going to have to back off because Eastwood's over.
Risque's just flashes into the hook, eats a phosphorus bomb. However, the heal's there. Flay's not going to do much of anything. Eastwood senses blood, though.
Wants it. He's thinking about it. There's the lantern, though, already down. There's no... Oh, Deathmark just comes available.
Deathmark and Ignite going down. Shadow in. However, heal coming out. Not going to finish up the kill. And now Eastwood's in a bit of a predicament. Flay coming out. One more auto attack from Yi. Picks up that kill. Corki's nowhere to be found. And a nice meditate keeps Master Yi alive.
Yeah, Don Flamingo said hi. Ran in with his Eye of Destruction. Dropped down the final Arcano Pulse and was able to just pick up a quick kill right there. So Xerath desperately needing that, and it's going to be able to go back to mid lane, hopefully able to push that out. And right now this is just kind of going back and forth. A 900 gold lead for the red team, but honestly, if LeCrow actually played this top lane semi-decently, he should be dominating this Nasus.
Which, I mean, he now just won that trade pretty heavily and gets the ultimate out.
He needs to stop auto-attacking. If he just didn't auto-attack, he'd be winning these trades no problem. He just takes way too much damage from minions every single fight.
His build is just sort of all over the place. Xerath taking a walk to the top lane. However, no mana for a slow on masses. Wither. That's what it is. Tired today for some reason.
Yeah, you're struggling a little bit with the skill names right now. And you see Caitlyn, there you go, getting her headshot proc off. No problem down there. It looks like they're just going to try and push this back in. She's up also about 30 farms. So the farm difference right now between all these lanes is pretty incredible. Great death sentence coming up from Soraka.
A nice flay too, right into the phosphorus bomb. However, ultimate coming out of Soraka, going to keep him alive. No mana on the Risque though. Not going to be able to do much. Another phosphorus bomb coming down. However, a perfectly placed trap. The Yeet teleport coming down, pops the ultimate, gets hooked away. However, more traps, keeping Seawide in spot. Easy double kill for Dom Flamingo. The Crow Storm coming out of LaCroix, going to scare King Cryptic away from his tower. Drain coming out, and that's a kill for Crow.
Yeah, good job right there.
Man drop coming in, keeping Mestra in the lane a little bit longer, throwing the Q down, snare from that, and the Caitlyn Yordle trap. Traps all over the place right now, really putting in work too.
Yeah, really good job with those little cupcakes to be placing them in spots right on the ends of bushes so the champions have to walk into them. They're forced to not see them until it's too late, just right on those corners. And good right of the arcane coming out, followed up with, I forget what his W is called, Eye of Destruction. Arcano Pulse lands as well, so good poke starting to come out from Xerath, but
50 CS down, Eastwood's just going to go hard. Eats a stun and an Eye of Destruction. Pop, not enough damage. And one more Q could be it.
Available, but with no mana, there's not a whole lot he can really do. He's going to trigger the ultimate, nope.
Pantheon's in the area. Throws out the spear, gets the ghost out of Xerath. Ace in the hole, landing on a Seawide. Q from Soraka. Fear, Darkwind, and Drain all coming out on a King Cryptic. Not that much damage from the minions that time. Crow finishing his Tabby and his Haunting guys are really going to start winning these trades even harder.
Yeah, it's going to make it really difficult for Crypt to be able to put that.
Pantheon coming in the top lane. The Ghost coming out, the Fear coming out. The Drain also, King Cryptic wants to not fight that actually. Drain doing lots of work. Crowstorm not quite available, however they're going to try and keep him in the lane and just tower dive him. With Yee's teleport also down, he's just going to run up to meet masses.
Yeah, and he's going to go B. He's going to have to go B. There's not a whole lot he's going to be able to do. Meanwhile, Zach doing what he does best, just trying to push down the lane, meet up with his teammates, go find somebody else to kill.
Yes, Yi sniping away the little golem with the smite. Seawide, a teleport from Crow coming down. Landed on a Yordle trap, actually. Hook onto Mestra. Foster's Farm gonna land. Crow just gonna chase Risque. The ultimate coming down from Soraka. Crow Storm coming out. Drain picks up that kill for the Crow. However, Soraka's gonna live. They could do Dragon.
Yeah, this should definitely be a Dragon. I mean, Crow is low on mana. Ultimate
Eastwood getting the red buff, forced to flash away. However, Yee's just going to chase him down with his ultimate. No boots on the boots one on the Eastwood. The Deathmark coming down. The ultimate from Xerath not going to do enough. Fear onto Don Flamingo, gets popped and auto-attacked by Eastwood once again. Really well played by Eastwood to keep track of his shadows there. I didn't think he could go back, and yet he did.
Yep, he actually just barely was able to recall out of that. And it looks like Blue Team's also going to be able to pick up a Dragon for this. So finally able to overtake Red in the gold lead, and there they go, up 400 gold, evening out the kill. But Crypt, meanwhile, was able to farm his way kind of back in the game and top. When you see him picking up the Emrys, going for that Spirit Visit.
Crow sitting on a ward, is going to get forced to flash, actually, over that wall. Losing even more time in this top lane. Crypt could possibly get this tower.
And that's really, really, really frustrating for Fiddlesticks as well, because not having your flash used offensively in combination with the ult limits the number of options and plays you're able to make.
And then this bot tower is actually going to go down as well. So
much for that gold lead we were talking about.
yeah, I mean, they got the dragon and a bunch of kills, but they lost out on 2 towers.
And
And
Xerath is so far behind that he bought a Crystallian Flask as a third item.
with the blue buff, he's going to be able to do a bit more. He was running out of mana constantly before this. I mean, but he doesn't have any
weaving in
damage.
his auto attacks as much as he can to try and get up and use that passive to create it, but like, there's no excuse to be down 50 farm at 15 minutes on the Xerath. Like, you should be at least using your Qs to push the wave if you're not able to stay in.
Now that Caitlyn has also joined his lane, he's going to be even more strapped for farm.
Absolutely, which is probably one of the most frustrating things when you're behind on the mid lane and your team wants to come help you push them in that tower. But you're already hurting to try and last hit. You don't have the gold you need, and that AD carry is coming in with a whole lot of AD.
Crow's just going to run Crypt back to his tower. Seawide having a siege minion though, going to try and put some damage down, doesn't manage to finish it off. Crow doing what he can on Fiddlesticks, but being Fiddlesticks, you don't exactly have that much tower pushing power.
No, he's really reliant upon just kind of using his E to push as many minions as he can, squeeze in what auto attacks he can, and just really harass the Nasus as much as he can, just trying to keep him from stacking up. And right now Nasus is at only 105 bonus damage of 60 minutes, so he's really far behind in terms of his stacks.
Looks like Fiddlesticks might get some help in the top lane. We see Yi on his golems, sees Dr. Eastwood. Eastwood just wants it. Throwing down the death mark and the ignite. Gonna scare away. The ignite might be enough. The flash from Gold Digger, not enough. The heal ultimate coming out from Soraka.
Or blocks up Gold Digger, and he decides to actually go back in and gets killed by that turret shot. Ghost
from
Xerath.
Xerath. Crow wants to try something. Pops the drain and then walks away. No actual damage coming down. He sees Soraka. The ward coming out is going to protect that bush a little bit. Top lane tower does go down. Hook dodged by Caitlyn. They need to get this tower to stay relevant, and it's not even close to be going down.
Yeah, they could really use it, and a good silence coming out from Soraka. Dr. Eastwood hits both shurikens on the Messer. That's going to force him to recall.
Yi is coming down to this bot side. But this Caitlyn wave clear is doing more than enough with the Infinity
Here
Edge.
comes the Nasus teleport.
With Yi also coming in, it's going to really cause a problem. Wither down on a nobody? That was weird. Teleport coming in from the Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks ulting. Man drop coming in. Flamingo sitting in on the ultimate. Stun coming out on the Don Flamingo. Pops the meditate. Gets critical hit by the passive from Gold Digger. However, Caitlyn goes down to the Crow. Crow gets withered, and now Xerath and Soraka have come to join the fight. Stun lands onto Crow, and the Q from Soraka is going to pick up that kill. Meanwhile, on the top lane, however, Dr. Eastwood has been on this tower for at least 20 seconds.
Yeah, and that's going to go down very quickly. He can split push. That's one thing he does very well, especially on Zed. With the Brutalizer and the Borg, he's got no problem burning right through that turret. He's just going to swing right back over the mid lane and try and put some pressure on this Xerath with the minimal mana he has. Zed has his death mark. He's going to try and get a kill. Nope, looks like he's just going to rotate back around, clean some more farm, and keep trying to push. And right now, he's closing in on almost, I don't want to say he's almost tripling. He's up 80 CS at this point on the Xerath.
Not having this bot tower down by the time of the next dragon is really going to be a bit frustrating for blue team. I mean, it's one more avenue that they also have to cover. There's no real control there. They've put another green ward into the pink ward, and they're going to try and take it, but Yi and Soraka are there to defend it.
Yeah, and Xerath for his long range, especially in those alleys around Dragon Pit, it's really easy for him to protect that. They need to make sure that this blue buff goes over to Xerath so he has the mana to be able to fight. And nope, Yi's actually going to take that away with an auto attack. So it's really going to hurt the Xerath in the upcoming fights because he has no mana regen or CDR.
Lots of bounces from that Dark Wind hitting Risque. However, Soraka just going to heal. Dragon now spawn. Hook coming out. Just misses Mestra. However, with all the thought on Dragon, this tower is eating some damage. Spear lands on a Mestra doing lots of damage. They force him off the tower, but it is going to go down. Ghost being popped. Hook lands onto King Crypt after popping Ghost. Wither lands onto the Crow, but he's just going to walk away from that still. Deathmark goes down onto Mestra. Eastwood throwing down lots of damage, popping his Ghost Blade. Ultimate coming out from Mestra too. Mandrop going way too close to his own team. Flash from Eastwood gets the Meditate. The heal coming out too. And this Ignite's still going to be enough between a Meditate, a heal from Soraka. Eastwood's going to run around the backside and try and scissor them off, but with no minions in the immediate area, he could be there a while. Throws out one Shadow.
Yeah, and it looks like he's just trying to keep them from going right back to the turret, and they can try and seize down in this. But Xerath
Hook
should
misses.
have no problem.
However, Crow sitting on ward, ults anyway, flashes down onto Risque and Matic. Matic forced to flash away. Risque also forced to flash away. King Crypt getting caught out by Gold Digger on the Pantheon stun. And they're going to hang out and wait for more minions to get this tower.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be an issue. That's going to be bot tier 2, probably going down right here. All 5 members on this turret. Yep, that's going to go down, no problem. Dragon also is alive right now. They're going to try and swing down, pick up that, and that's going to be a significant
However,
coming out for Delta.
Yi teleported to the top lane. He is going to trade tower for tower and continue pushing onto that inhib.
Somebody's going to have to respond to him. That's a big wave he has up there. Zed's trying to go back, and it looks like, nope, they're going to be able to stop him.
Tries to go aggro, but
That's
with
going to be an inhib.
no one's still responding. There's no one to deal with this Yi. Ultimate laying it onto Mestra. Looks like he's going to get popped. He does. Ultimate coming out. Doesn't land onto Eastwood, however. Magic getting drained. Might go down. He does go down there. But Yi could finish the game. Box coming out.
And Zed looking like they're finally going to recall. There's Zed. He just got back. Home guard coming out. He's going to get a turret at least for his troubles.
Pops to Meditate. Silence stops him for a second. But still, that was 3 towers and an inhib.
And NASA's teleport is coming up very shortly as well. So with that pressure down in there, I don't think they'll manage to actually get a word down. But any teleporting into that base or any kind of pressure they're going to be able to create on the map is going to be even more painful with that threat of the NASA's teleport.
Nasus, however, does not even have a Sheen yet. He decided to go Merc Treads into Spirit Visage. So with his deflated Q stacks, he's still not going to be doing that much damage. And with 0 armor, he's not going to be able to tank a full tower. Eastwood in this top lane, gonna try and push it out a little bit, give his team a little bit of breathing room. King Crypt
So
just trying to find stacks wherever he can right now.
Trying to find whatever farm he can. I mean, on NASA's to have 23 farm at, or to have 80 farm at 23 minutes is a rough life.
With Xerath also being so far behind, though, they can't even utilize a strong poke comp right now. Yes, they can try and keep the waves clear as much as possible, but still, that's mostly Caitlyn doing a lot of the work. Wither landing down on the King Crypt and Matic on that Xerath. Gonna do a bit of damage, but these super minions are hurting Eastwood right now.
Yeah, and here comes
He pops his ultimate and the Ghost Blade, tries to Q out, gets death marked and Q'd. Still, that's an easy double kill. Ultimate coming out from Caitlyn wants this kill.
And that's a huge problem right now because that Yi's just going to be able to free push in the top lane. Well, he's got to just group in the bot and pressure in. And right now it's a 4v2 pressing in on this B2. Ace in the hole comes out just to put down additional damage on the Corki and force him off.
That's going to be that tower. And Crow has to stay in this top lane to try and keep Yi off of it.
Yeah, in all reality, it's just really impressive that they're able to have so much pressure on the map, despite the fact that middle one has barely even been touched. It only has like 600 damage down on it.
Man drop coming in, but the flame misses everybody. Exhaust on a Risque, heal coming out of Risque, eats a hook. The flash box from Thresh actually doing really well. Maddock getting slowed up by the Bork. The Lantern coming out, no one's going to take it. King Crypt doesn't have much place to go, gets hooked, gonna get flayed back in, no mana whatsoever, gonna go down to C wide, and Yi wasn't able to do anything, but I believe he stole a blue buff. He did indeed steal a blue buff.
Well, blue buff worth the rest of your team, I guess. Fiddle has to stay around that top lane, making sure you can't get around, but that hard CT, like I was talking about right away, it's impossible
Hook
to get
and Deathmark landing on the Don Flamingo. However, he's gonna pick up the kill on popped. However, unless Caitlyn can get there, that could be some serious damage on that mid tower. Eastwood decides he doesn't want none of that, just gonna back off. Pushing down this mid tower, Risque on this Caitlyn doing lots of damage, having finished that static shiv now. That was
static shiv, i.e. that's about the power spike you're looking for at Caitlyn. At that point, you're okay to group with your team. You're able to really kite around, get a ton of damage off from the additional magic damage on the shiv charge, as well as your headshot procs.
Red team pinging out the Baron with Yeast teleport and Nasus's teleport. They could do a 1-3-1 split push here and still be able to effectively team fight. Red team deciding they don't want to pull that mistake again. Fiddle trying to back early, however, gets stopped because he was caught on a ward, and Yi still having free time in this bot lane. Fiddlesticks deciding just to teleport back to the tier 1 tower, but that's a teleport burned, and Yi's just going to walk away.
Yeah, he's going to try and see if the Fiddle's going to burn his fear to go in on that. There goes the fear, and the feared Yi.
He's going to run away.
Semi-hysterical.
But Crow's going to try and out-damage him here. However, stun coming out from Gold Digger. That stopped him.
Great flash into the...
A summoner has
Oh,
disconnected.
DC.
DC coming in. And there's the pause. Still, that was 2 members required to take down the Master Yi. Doesn't really bode well.
No, and that was a really good flash Aegis of Xeonia by Pantheon in order to really save the Fiddlesticks there. After the fear had gone off, he probably would have lost the fight to the Drain. I don't know, would have been close depending on the Masters. He still did have his Zhonya's available, so he might have been able to get off another rotation of his fear and his silence in order to save himself. But Pantheon came in, cleaned that up, no problem anyway, and it looks like we're just waiting on the Nasus to return. And it looks like he is also out of the Mumble channel, so not exactly sure what's going on. Hopefully he is coming back in shortly.
Right now, as it stands, it's going to be a lot of work for Blue Team to actually stay relevant right now. I mean, Master Yi has his teleport, and Nasus has his teleport also. I mean, they can be pretty much anywhere they want to be on the map right now and still have a 5v5 teamfight presence. And with Yi being 8, 6, and 2, yeah, he's died a lot, but he has his 3 core items of a Pharaoh Flare, a Blade of the Rune King, and a Ghost Blade. He's going to be able to 1v1 anybody from here on out.
Yeah, and especially with the pickaxe, it looked like he's just trying to go with more damage. He has the ability to just burn through whatever he wants with the Spirit Stone in there and heal up off the jungle and just kind of disappear in the fog of war, reappear, take an in-hit, disappear, take a turret, just kind of do whatever he wants. And it'll be interesting to see if this Nasus comes back up. There he is. He just reconnected into Mumble. So we should be getting on our way very shortly, guys. And he looks like he is back in his channel, so hopefully we're just waiting for the delay to catch up. Let's look a little bit at the items. We see Nasus is almost to that Frozen Heart. Like I said, very minimal damage, just going for full tank, which really hurts him given the fact that Nasus, for his damage, relies a lot upon that stacking mechanic, but he only has 82 CS total at 27 minutes, so the total stacks on him are just incredibly low. That being said, his lane opponent on the other side has his Zhonya's, is working towards what looks to be a Ryla's now at this point, with home guard tabbies and a haunting guy. So a lot of damage coming out from the fiddle, and also a lot of CC in terms of his silence and his fears. The battle of the mid laners, I mean, Zed has almost tripled Xerath CS. Xerath hasn't even able to crack that 100 mark and only has the Zhonya's and the Chalice as well. When you look across, Zed is working towards his GA now at this point and has the core build of the Blade of the Rune King, the Yuma's Ghost Blade, and that last whisper to get the additional armor pet in there.
Nasus did connect to the game. Just waiting for an unpause to come out.
Yeah, and then going back to the items, you look at the supports, Randuin's and a Sightstone coming out from Thresh, and also looks like he's working towards the Thornmail to help out with the Yi. On the other side, you have the finished Talisman from Soraka to give a little bit more of the disengaged Captain Boots for more utility into the team. And it looks like she's now working towards the Mikhails to help a little bit with the pick potential and also with the Death Mark and the Fear coming out from Fiddle and Zed. 80 carries, you like we talked about before, IE Shiv, the standard Caitlyn build, right? That's basically her power spec. That's what she's like, okay, I got the 2 items I really need to go fight. Let's headshot some people. Quirky on the other side looks like he's going towards the BT to get the additional shield in there, make sure Yi can't blow him up, as well as having the Triforce and Historic Pen boost. So overall, it looks like we're pretty even across the sides. The big difference being, of course, the Zed versus Xerath, and then the Yi versus the Pantheon. And here we go. Looks like the readies are coming out from both teams. With a 1.3k gold lead at 27 minutes, can the blue team convert this gold lead into a victory, or will the backdooring from Yi prevail? We shall find out, guys.
Resume coming out in right now. With Yi being dead, that's 30 seconds of time blue team can use to capitalize on something. While I don't think it's going to be the Baron, they very well could get this dragon. Crow, finishing his Hourglass, starts picking up the pieces for a Rylai's Crystal Scepter. He was pretty low before this dragon, but now he's going to be able to pick it up. And beautiful dragon dancing from Chuba on that Thresh. I mean, didn't really take all that much damage. Crow finds a pink ward and eats a cupcake for his trouble.
It's a worthwhile trade. He gets a little bit of the frosty deliciousness of those built-over made traps. And on top of that, eats a little bit of extra gold for cleaning up that pink ward. But in all reality, he needs to make sure those sides are unwarded so he can get over there with his Crow Star and unleash his birds on the enemy team. And it
looks like he's going anyway, but
silence came right out.
He didn't check for a ward. His sweeper was available, but it looks like he just got caught out. However, Corki trying to 1v1 Yi, popping both summoners when he knew for a fact he was going to die. With Crowstorm being on cooldown, however, Red Team knows this is their chance to go in.
Yeah, they're just trying to keep him from porting right now with the E pressuring the base. That's all they have to worry about. They don't have to worry about winning a fight. Actually, no, Pantheon's going to respond. So
Eastwood popping his ultimate, Crow, Zonia's into a trap, ultimate coming out, headshot proc, landing onto Risque, landing onto Crow, picking up that kill. And it looks like Eastwood giving the slip, jumps in onto Risque, pops the ignite, heal enough to not save him. And now Eastwood's a man versus the world. Matic throwing out abilities, however, Shadow over under the Dragon Pit going to keep him safe for now. With Matic and
like
King
they're trying
Crypt.
to collapse down onto the spot lane turret before Zed can get back to defend. He is going to be able to get through it, but there's no minions left over. And Seawide has respawned.
However, Crypt could just straight up tank it. This sort of full tank build does give him the ability to tank towers, and that's going to be dangerous once both teleports are both available and having a ward in the pit in the base of blue team. Both Master Yi and Nasus could teleport in. Nasus could tank the tower while Yi kills it.
And Dom picking up that deep pink ward.
And a red buff for his troubles. Ghostblade being caught by Eastwood,
Eastwood.
jumps over, Deathmark going down, Meditate coming out, pops the ultimate, he's just going to nuke Eastwood, but it wasn't enough. And then Dancing Shoes on, dodges the Zerath ult. With Yi down, this is another chance to try and pressure something. This mid tower being super low. Now Crow finally decides to check that ward, trap, and another trinket, or another ward coming down. Red trinket being popped again to clear that out. However, Sightstone available. Just going to keep throwing wards over that wall. However, using all 4 wards in one spot, not the best use of Sightstone. Hook landing on the Mesha after the Dark Wind, follows it in, flays up, Fear coming down, that's a kill for Eastwood. The Lantern giving just enough health to survive the ace in the hole. Seawide eats a trap, trying to clear those minions out to get onto the tower. Dark Wind finishing him off.
It's really surprising that the ace in the hole actually got through. Like, yes, it didn't kill him, but like any one of his teammates could have stepped in front of that and eaten that ball. Like, it was very, very, very close to having the damage.
Neither team having vision on Baron Pit. Thresh decides to walk that way on his way out. Hook landing onto Madarick with a Dark Wind just bouncing back and forth between him and Yi. Fear landing onto King Crypt. Drain not doing that much anymore. Ghostblade being popped by Eastwood. Gets hit by the 90 caliber net after his Shadow. Still wants it though.
Yeah, not a whole lot of damage really coming out from Eastwood anymore. He fell off in farm. Decided to split his build path, didn't get any magic pen in his boots, decided to go for the tabbies instead. So, just going to be a hard time for him to really put down as much damage as he's hoping for until he really gets that Ryla's Liandry's combo.
Crow trying to be all sneaky, gets seen by a ward. However, these Dark Winds are doing a lot of damage to the squishies of blue team, red team.
And most importantly, too, that silence mechanic that's coming out, being able to silence the abilities of Xerath when he's sitting in that back line and getting those bounces onto him really handicap his effectiveness in fights.
Don Flamingo trying to be sneaky, hits a hook and a phosphorus bomb. However, gonna take out Corky.
He
Chuba,
just does not care. Oh, what a great flash auto coming out from Chuba with the passive built-up damage from the flag.
Chuba thought he could do it. Chuba thought Corky had enough to win that fight. Turns out he didn't. Crow and Chuba find a pink ward. However, they don't have vision on the rest of red team. They're going to start up this Baron knowing that Don Flamingo and Master Yi is down for another 20 seconds. However, Eastwood lands onto Risque. Ignite coming down. A heal coming out. However, Risque living with 10 health. However, King Crypt 1v5. Lots of damage coming down on the King Crypt. Gets stunned up. However, silence coming out and a stun on the Gold Digger. Chuba going really low, lands a nice hook on the Risque, Drain coming out, and the Dark Wind picks up that kill. However, teleport from Don Flamingo to this top lane, gonna take out C-Wide once again, and that's gonna be the inhib.
Yeah, and there's the Fiddle TP coming back in rather than just basing to try and pick that up, even though everyone else was there. So that's a waste of a cooldown. 4 seconds on that, or 4 minutes on that, excuse me. And it looks like he is just going to try and run away. He might attempt to pick up this blue buff, but there's his Zed.
He finds Eastwood. Teleport coming in from Nasus. Hook misses onto Master Yi. The ward gave Yi the vision he needed to Alpha Strike over that wall. The Siphoning Strike being blocked by Gold Digger's passive. Wither coming out. Deathblade coming down. Gonna not popped for just enough damage. Wow.
Yeah, just barely enough. Probably with that extra execution damage over the top from the passive. And also the armor pen helping out there. It's just like, oh, are they going to be able to take this away?
Still trying to do this Baron on a ward. This could be a free triple kill for Master Yi.
Yeah, no teleport, but if he's able to sprint over there in time, oh yeah, if he's right there at the wraiths, excuse me.
A big wave on this bot tower for blue team now. So, gonna get some damage down, not gonna do anything. Blue team doesn't have a mind of presence for this ward coverage. They keep trying to recall or ultimate on wards, and they're getting blocked by Xerath ultimate and this silence from the Soraka.
Honestly, they really need to upgrade one of their sweepers to a pink ward because a lot of these wards are clustered in areas where they're going to be able to pick up multiple. And just having the ability, the Soraka has been very persistent about when one of her wards has been swept out to immediately replace it, even if it costs her an entire sight zone. We've seen her do it on multiple occasions. Getting that upgraded trinket immediately disables her ability to do that and forces everyone else on her team to also be more cognizant of where they're putting their wards down.
Dragon having him respawn again. Red team trying to get in a position to take this one.
And honestly, I'm not exactly sure they want to contest in such a crowded area, especially with Fiddlesticks, Flash, and Ultimate available. He's able to come in from so many different angles. It's going to be really, really, really hard for the red team to really set up a fight that's desirable in these tight-knit jungles.
He's sticking to his guns though, just going to keep split pushing. He knows he can beat anybody on that team 1v1. Pantheon, with his ultimate available, goes down in the bot lane to clear out the wave, but Yi's just hanging out in that bush. He's either going to wait and try and kill Pantheon, or he's just going to push the wave out again as soon as it comes near him. And the Yi pops the ultimate. It looks like he wants the kill. Having his GA finished, he's going to have a lot to do. Popping his Blade of the Ruined King, gets stunned up by Gold Digger, however, that's not enough.
Yeah, and just going in right away. It seemed like he wasn't attack moving onto him at first, and he slowed down for a second, but finally able to clean it up. Pantheon, no answer for that. Definitely needs to invest more into the armor at this point. He's not going to be doing the damage for his team. An interesting choice, never actually finishing a jungle item. I feel like you have really
The hook from Thresh, the death sentence, was for the dragon. And stealing it away, he's definitely chuckling to himself right now.
The literal death sentence, but will that be Baron going over to the red team? Master Yi is just going to absolutely melt it, as will Caitlyn. So they're starting it up right away. What will Delta do to respond?
Thresh Zed and Fiddlesticks are all running over there, but
I don't know why Yi stopped hitting it. They would have been able
the
to
hook
absolutely
lands
melt
on a
it down
Mestra,
with
same
Death
with the
Sentence.
Dark Wind. However, Death Sentence landing onto Risque. Zed getting popped up a little bit, doesn't go down. Ultimate only landing onto a few members of Red Team from Fiddlesticks. The Mandrop landing. Don Flamingo not surviving, gets killed by Thresh. The Eye of Destruction picking up the kill on the Fiddlesticks. Eastwood now wants this Maddock kill, but the Ghost being popped, I don't think he has the move speed to catch him.
Yep, there's Shocking Orb. Comes out. Eye of Destruction able to put down a little bit more damage. Arcane Pulse almost popped the GA.
Mestra must not have seen the Pantheon, however, eats nothing for his trouble because the Shurikens killed him too quick for the stun to land.
Yep, double Shurikens way too strong with that extra execution damage on there. I mean, that's a 14, 2, and 5 Zed. I mean, you gotta expect that damage coming out.
Chuba and Gold Digger trying to 1v1 the tower. Not going to work out in their favor when Caitlyn shows up.
Now, Caitlyn's going to be able to try and clear this wave with Pantheon.
However,
Right
stun
ahead,
lands.
Sonya
Flash
and-
dodging the Phosphorus Bomb. Stun just missing on the Gold Digger. Still eating tower, though. Matter trying to use his ult spells to clear this wave. Gets stunned up by Pantheon, and the tower's going to go down.
Good Shocking
Gold
Orb,
Digger
followed by the Eye of Destruction.
lives
Not
with
quite enough damage.
Gold Digger living with 10 health. They force him off the inhib, but still, that's a middle tower going down.
Yeah, and that inhibitor is now exposed, and you see he hasn't been able to create any kind of backdoor pressure recently at all. Not getting any deep wards down there, and especially with that defensive pink ward by the blue team, really good job. It looks like they're going to try and force down this Baron.
With Crowstorm being down and Mandrop, they are a lot safer doing it, even though this time they're doing it on top of a ward. He pops his ultimate, it's just going to eat away at this, and unless a big Dark Wind comes in, it's going to go down. Death Mark going down onto Master Yi, just gets nuked out entirely. Hook lands on a Risque, Chuba follows it up. Flay landing also. Even with the Baron, this fight's not going well. Ultimate not enough to save Caitlyn's life, however. Flash from C-Wide, lots of damage coming down on the Mestra. The Shuriken picking up the kill. Triple kill for Eastwood. He wants this Xerath kill. Shadow coming out. Shuriken landing, however, stun also landing on the Eastwood. However, that's going to be the inhib. Teleport coming out from Nasus to that Nexus tower. Crow throwing down a fear, doesn't want to tank tower for too long. Wither coming down. Drain going to keep him alive for now.
It looks like Nasus is now starting to finally work towards an offensive item, but again, 121 farm, 40 minutes on Nasus. Like, there's just no damage on him. He has barely 200 stacks.
10 seconds still on Caitlyn, Master Yi, and Soraka. Now 50 seconds on to Xerath and Nasus. That's going to be inhib number 2, and they might try to finish it.
It looks like they might be able to.
One tower down, ultimate being popped by Master Yi. He's not going to get the reset, gets silenced up. He's going to run away and survive for now, though. C-Wide and Chu are both really low. He could get the reset. Exhaust coming out. Alpha Strike going down for one, however, that's going to be the game.
Not going to matter. GG, well played. Great game by both teams, but
Yi just
honestly,
could not
19-2
get the
and
reset.
5 Zed is just very, very, very difficult to overcome.
Yeah, definitely Zed doing his job that entire game. I don't think his GA was even popped that game after he bought it.
No, it definitely was not. It was a very, very solid performance. I mean, if you just look at the damage set for Champions tab, I mean, that basically tells the story. So much damage coming out from the Zed and from the Fiddlesticks as well. Really, really, really hard to overcome. They basically did more damage than the entire enemy team combined.